Kinds of things which ordinary people don't think of as being worthy of artistic treatment. And I think that Andy took these and somehow he made them into unforgettable images.
Warhol was an unlikely celebrity, yet the rich and famous embraced him as one of their own. He in turn idolized them, photographed, painted, and interviewed them.
He was curious and he loved life and he loved to watch what was going on in life. And what did you used to say there?
Andy was always every place all the time. We always made a joke about it. Andy would go to an opening of a drawer.
Warhol once said eventually everyone will be famous for 15 minutes, but his work and personality will probably remain well known for many years. And TV producer and talk show host David Susskind also died in New York today. He was found this afternoon in his apartment, apparently dead of natural causes. Susskind has had serious heart problems and was scheduled to enter a hospital tomorrow for tests.
It's hard to believe that in the country's wealthiest state, California, that nearly 1 in 10 men, women, and children are forced to rely on emergency food banks or charity to eat. Without them, those people would go hungry. That's according to an extensive report on hunger. Channel 7's Janet Yee says those charitable groups can't even keep up with those who need food, but places like Glide Memorial Church in San Francisco do what they can to help.
It is a travesty for us to still have hunger, not only in the richest state, but the richest country in the world.
The Reverend Cecil Williams has dedicated his life to fighting hunger, and he gets overwhelming support from his church members. After the sermon, San Francisco's hunger problem becomes more apparent. A long line forms downstairs in the kitchen. Glide Memorial serves 3,000 free meals every day. Billie Jean Mosier has 2 kids. After their dad was killed, the bills just kept adding up.
You know, you got to survive. You know, it's kind of hard, but everybody puts together and does it.
Family tragedies and unemployment aren't the only things causing hunger. Federally funded social programs have been cut by $57 million over the last couple of years. Some say part of the problem is California's minimum wage. It hasn't increased in years, so a person making $3.35 an hour could still be considered below the poverty level. Whatever the reason, a study by the Sacramento Bee shows nearly 2.5 million Californians are forced to rely on emergency food banks. In San Francisco, Janet Yee, Channel 7 News Tonight.
2 pieces of South Bay history were moved today to new ground. The 2 historic houses created a few traffic slowdowns in San Jose today. They were being moved to Kelly Park. There they will be restored and preserved. A 3rd home was moved across town into the park yesterday.
Well, coming up next, the 2 men who hoped climbing the Golden Gate Bridge would net them $1 million.
And we continue our special report on what's brewing in the world of beer.
Ah, the comforts of driving an automobile engineered for the German Autobahn. A luxury car designed for the smoothest of roads. A car that comfortably negotiates the wide-open highway. Of course, if you drive roads other than the German Autobahn, you may appreciate your Audi even more. If you're ready to take on the city, you're ready for an Audi.
And your Greater Bay Area Audi dealer is ready for you.
Your skin has a biorhythm all its own, and now from Japan, Shiseido Biotechnology responds. BH24 Day-Night Essence, the moisture magnet. Protection by day, nourishment by night, encouraging your skin's own cell renewal process. Shiseido BH24 Day-Night Essence. 4 drops a day, radiance tomorrow.
Beauty Deluxe, your gift with any Shiseido purchase of $10 or more.
At Macy's, I heard stories of women going mad during their menopause. My mother suffered a lot from hot flashes.
Horror stories about menopause, but it doesn't have to be that way for you.
I don't think it's something to be feared. It's something to understand.
Dr. Dina Dell explains what to really expect and what will help, starting Monday on Channel 7 News at 6.
Get the Atlantic difference. 8% money market guaranteed for 2 months. Call 1-800-4-ATLANTIC or visit your nearest branch. Atlantic Financial.
They said they'd do anything for $1 million, and that apparently included going to jail. That's what happened today on the Golden Gate Bridge when 2 men tried to advertise their willingness to work by hanging a banner on the bridge. They managed to get the banner up on the North Tower before Highway Patrol officers took them into custody. Channel 7's Janet Yee talked with one of them briefly as he was being led away.
You do anything for $1 million? What does this have to do with $1 million?
I put the banner up saying we'd do anything for $1 million. And I did the same thing Wednesday on top of the building.
What's your name?
Django Giles.
19-year-old Django James Giles and 21-year-old Edward Joseph Harris were booked at the Marin County Jail on misdemeanor trespassing charges and released. They have to go back to court March 11th, and at last check, no one had offered them $1 million to do anything.
Bay Area water districts are starting to lay plans for what to do if this winter continues to be so dry and watershed reservoirs continue to stay well below normal. The State Department of Water Resources is telling districts to expect no more than 85% of what they are asking this year. The East Bay Municipal Utility District Sierra watershed is only 50% of normal now. San Francisco's Hetch Hetchy officials told Channel 7's Jim Vargas they are worried because their reservoirs are only 40% of normal. Customers may be asked to follow conservation guidelines.
We would ask people to curtail excessive watering of outside car washing, yard washing, that type of thing.
Bay Area water districts are starting to plan this year for the possibility of drought next year when reserves going into winter will be smaller.
Well, if it's trendy, chances are you can find it here in the Bay Area. California beer drinkers have become more discriminating in their taste, and that's stimulating the growth of small breweries which specialize in high-quality, sophisticated suds sold in brew pubs. Channel 7's Steve Davis has been tracing this trend and brings us up to date on what's brewing.
It was Anchor Steam Beer that kept the old 100% natural style brewing tradition alive in the Bay Area, although that life hung by the thinnest of threads when Fritz Maytag bought the brewery in the early 1960s.
We were really only one employee, and we made beer every couple of months and had only about a dozen accounts, draft beer only. It was very primitive and bankrupt.
Anchor has since grown to be among the largest of the small American breweries, equipped with state-of-the-art natural beer works.
On the other hand, Charles Rixford of Thousand Oaks Brewery in Berkeley speaks with a naturalist's pride of being a decidedly low-tech brewery.
I mean, this is it. Cottage industry to the micro. Charles Rixford, proprietor, showed us down the stairs to where his Thousand Oaks Brewery occupies a small bedroom-sized concrete corner of the basement.
This is it.
This is it. You have to have other things to do as well. You know, you can't make a living at this scale, but it's paying for itself and beyond, and we've been doing it for 5 years.
Volume may be down, but the quality is strong. Charles and his wife worked hard on marketing and distribution. His 2 sons helped with the brewing, and his daughter designed the Thousand Oaks labels. Shattuck Avenue, Berkeley. The brothers Reed and John Martin say they wanted a name that spoke of good times and a solid product. Roaring Rock Brewery.
We like every customer that comes in here, from the blue collar to the gourmet, and it's sort of a great mix to have, seeing everybody standing there.
Roaring Rock is a brew pub, selling most of its distinctive beer right where it's brewed. Natural, hearty suds, served fresh. Untreated beer doesn't improve with age, it just gets old.
Once you start drinking the better stuff, your palate moves forward.
Bill Owens runs Buffalo Bill's Brewery on B Street in Hayward, another brew pub. One with a sort of British social pub atmosphere, darts, conversation, and the main attractions, his assortment of sipping brews, light to dark to darker. Lovely stuff. Speaking of which, all the brew pubs serve food. It's a natural match. But the attention, even a lot of the conversation, focuses on the house brew.
There's a common subject everyone can talk about, which is beer. And boy, they do.
Hoplam Brewing Tavern in Mendocino County, Sierra Nevada and Saxton Breweries in Chico, the Santa Cruz Brewing Company. The good ones are doing well. The past is becoming the future. I'm Steve Davis, Channel 7 News.
Here is Roaring Steve Newman with a hearty forecast on the weather.
Speaking of roaring, it may not be raining here in California, but we've got a couple of winter storms brewing. I hope you're not heading for the East Coast. The complete weather forecast next.
Another 30 seconds of common sense. Walk into most automobile showrooms and ask to see something under $7,000, and you'll get very little show with a lot of room for improvement. But at Hyundai, you'll get 7 XL models for under $7,000, all thoroughly equipped and starting at only $49.95. And that leaves very little room for the competition.
Test drive the new XL now at your Northern California Hyundai dealer. We sell cars that make sense.
An important message from American Airlines. Introducing American Super Sale.
From now through May 20th, with fares from only $19 to $99, you can fly to destinations throughout the continental U.S. $19 to $99 each way based on round-trip coach purchase. Just make your reservations 2 days in advance and stay over Saturday. Tickets are non-refundable. American Super Sale. You may never be able to go so far for so little again.
When an urgent package leaves your hands, make sure the hands you leave it in can deliver. Express Mail overnight service from your post office delivers over city, over state, overnight, over whatever stands in the way. Over 97% of the time, and climbing, for about half what most others charge. £2, just $10.75. Express Mail overnight service. When we say overnight, we mean overnight.
What will become of me?
Widowed, divorced, and alone.
And having to be her sole source of support.
Many women over 40 find the golden age of retirement is just a myth. Join Ana Chavez for On Their Own Women Over 40 tomorrow on Channel 7 News at 5.
Because what you have right now might not be here tomorrow.
What does our Bay Area really think of the controversial miniseries America? Don't miss reactions live from the studio and around the Bay. Americans on America, Monday at 7 on Channel 7.
Well, I'll tell you, the old barometer on the wall has taken a nosedive down to 29.80. There's a very deep storm in the upper atmosphere approaching us. Doesn't look like it'll bring us rain or much of mountain snow, but it's going to bring a lot cooler temperatures and windy weather for the next couple of days. Nothing like this storm earlier that produced tornadoes in North Florida near St. Augustine. Right now, it's producing messy weather, freezing rain in the Carolinas and southern Virginia. And as it moves up the eastern seaboard, it's producing heavy snows. The Washington, D.C. area can expect 6 to 8 inches of snow tomorrow. That may close the capital down all the way north to Philadelphia. New York City will be on the fringe of it tomorrow, although the snow is approaching Manhattan right now. It looks like it'll move offshore with only snow showers for New York State and New England. We're seeing some snow showers in the north. There are travels advisories for northwestern Nevada for tonight and tomorrow for gusty winds and much cooler temperatures. You can see a lot of snow, not much in the way of a surface front or anything. It's just a lot of wind and an upper level storm aloft over the west. The east will dry out and last that way for a while, but I think a couple of episodes of severe weather will cross Texas this week. Forecast highs 70s in southern Florida, 20s in New England, 30s from New York City across a broad area of the country, even Southern California cooling off because of those gusty winds. Palm Springs will try and reach 70 tomorrow, but not quite make it. And I do want to emphasize much colder temperatures and rapidly changing weather in the Sierra. If you have travel plans up there, especially if you're going to remote areas, the weather pattern could change radically. We're betting on the fact that the storm will take a dry direction. Most of the jet stream's energy is being carried over land right now, so it doesn't have a lot of moisture with it. However, if it did pick up some, we could get some surprise snow in the mountains. So please stay tuned to radio stations if you're traveling to remote high countries for the next couple of days. You can see high pressure still bulging over the Gulf of Alaska. That keeps us dry from the westerlies blowing across the Pacific, but we may get a few surprise showers out of this one. Forecast highs tomorrow in the 50s to near 60. Here's my Channel 7 forecast. Clear, breezy, and cool. Our lows 32 to 45. Tomorrow, we'll see a few clouds, but a generally sunny day. It'll be breezy and unseasonably cold. Highs 52 to 62. The 5-day outlook, we're going to call just partly cloudy skies for the next 2 days. That is the best bet. There's an outside chance of one of those odd showers coming at us, and it would indeed be odd. You want to talk about odd? It snowed for the first time in recorded history in Abu Dhabi. That's an Arab state near the Persian Gulf, and that place goes way back. When you talk about recorded history over there, and the old-timers who read those old scrolls have never seen of snow in Abu Dhabi. It snowed for about 4 hours. Weird things are happening.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Well, the eruption of Kilauea volcano in Hawaii is anything but rare, and the lava flow that's been going on for months is threatening more homes now. Houses in the path of molten rock were about a mile away from danger at last report. Late last year, the volcano was responsible for the destruction of almost 30 homes in the village of Kalapana. And 3 years ago, 16 homes were wiped out in the same development that could be in danger again now.
Okay, right now, time for Mark Gibson and some sports.
Okay, coming up, the Cal basketball team gets served some home cooking down on the farm, while up north, an ugly incident involving a local athlete mars UCLA's win over the Oregon Ducks. I'll have highlights when we return.
Now, pick out a new GMC S15 pickup with 3.9% GMAC financing or $500 cash back. Plus, get air conditioning at no extra charge on specially equipped models. And for a limited time, GMC Truck has made it possible for your GMC truck dealer to pass along additional savings of up to $750 on options. That could be a total savings of over $1,900. See your Northern California GMC truck dealer today.
They've arrived. Some of the lowest fares in the sky. United's put the 48 states from coast to coast on sale. Fly for just $29 to $99 with as little as 2 days advance purchase. $29 to $99 to more cities than any other airline. New low fares from United. Don't let us leave without you.
You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies.
For 77 years, Antonio Stradivari dedicated himself to making perfect violins. 3 centuries later, they're still perfect. There's a lesson here for business. Focus on your strengths. In California, one bank has always concentrated on serving business. Union Bank. They shape financial instruments for business with the responsiveness of a local bank and the resources of one of the largest financial institutions in the world. If you're in search of business excellence, call the business bank.
Buick says where better really matters. Your Northern California Buick dealers say where better deals really matter. Better deals like double savings on LeSabres. First, the more optional equipment you buy, the more you save, up to $1,200. Second, make your best deal on any LeSabre and get an additional $500 cash back. Pick the sporty LeSabre Coupe, get an extra $500 cash back. Choose the roomy LeSabre Sedan, get an extra $500 cash back from your Northern California Buick Dealers Association, where better deals really matter.
To say it's been an up and down season for the Cal basketball team is an understatement. Cal had an opportunity to tie for third place in the Pac-10, but they get blown out early by Stanford at Maples Pavilion. Stanford, led by its sophomore star Todd Lichty, takes a 46-17 lead on Lichty's jumper. He had 17 of his 26 points in the first half. The Cardinal connect on 6 of 9 three-pointers in the first half, this one by guard Terry Taylor. Stanford has a 53-20 lead at the intermission, a laugher. Nothing seemed to go wrong for the Cardinal today. Lichty, who later fouls out, misses the jumper. Now watch Novian Whitsitt looking like a Harlem Globetrotter. Controls the ball, passes to Taylor, back to Whitsitt. Bullseye. Novian Whitsitt chipping in 15. The Bears make the score respectable, though. Kevin Johnson, 29 points in a losing cause as Cal falls to 9-7 and into 4th place in the conference. Conference leader UCLA runs Oregon right out of its own gym. Reggie Miller, 22 points as he jams home 2 on the breakaway. Then Greg Foster from Oakland Skyline High School commits a cardinal sin. He rubs it in. And Oregon's Rick Osborne takes offense to that display of bad sportsmanship. Ian Craig doesn't like that harassment either. Both benches clear, but UCLA remains a half game ahead of Arizona with an easy win despite this ugly scene. College basketball doesn't need that. Let's check the Pac-10 standings, keeping in mind that the first 6 teams draw a bye and don't have to play until day 2 of the tournament. Now, Cal is in 4th place, but facing tough games next week at Arizona and Arizona State. Stanford at the top of the last 4, the Cardinal in 7th, with an outside chance of making it into the top 6. Stanford also travels to Arizona next week. Let's move on to top 10 action. A record crowd of over 52,000 treated to a real barn burner at the Syracuse Carrier Dome as the number 11 Georgetown Hoyas hang on to beat the hometown favorites, 9th-ranked Syracuse. The Orangemen taking an 11-point lead when Derek Coleman jams home 2 off the dish from Sherman Douglas. But when Reggie Williams puts down a 3-pointer from the corner, the Hoyas take a 49-48 lead, completing an 18-0 run. Georgetown's big man, Perry McDonald. McDonald inside takes the pass, will hit the left-handed hook. He had a career-high 26 points. But with 3 seconds left, Syracuse has a chance to win it. Greg Monroe's jumper off the mark. The Hoyas winning their 21st game of the year. In Rosemont, Illinois, number 5 DePaul and guard Rod Strickland off and running against Georgia Tech. Strickland 28 points. The Blue Demons complete a second-half comeback against the Yellow Jackets as Dallas Coleman G's jams at 2 of his game-high 33. DePaul now 25-1. Other Sunday scores, Memphis State keeping its Metro Conference Championship hopes alive with a 1-point win over defending national champion Louisville. Virginia over North Carolina State, and another Atlantic Coast Conference game. Wake Forest dumps Maryland. In just a couple of minutes on Channel 7 Sports Extra, we have plenty more for you, so keep it right here.
Okay. Well, it's just a few days until Carnival begins in Brazil, and with today in Rio de Janeiro, workers were out there building giant floats and making elaborate costumes to be worn during the several days of Carnival. Schools for Samba are getting people ready for Carnival's main event. That's the big Samba parade. Some tourists have already arrived, taking classes and gearing up for one of the biggest spectaculars of the spring. 50,000 people expected there. Fortunately, we won't be among them, but we'll be here. That's our news for tonight.
Please join Channel 7 News tomorrow again at 5, 6, and 11. Thanks for being with us.
Good night.